Did you always know you were going Penn State, being a PA guy?
No, after Fargo of my junior year, that year I won, Coach Cael had come and Coach Cody had come to the house in Benton, and that was the first time I really met them or had any interest in going to Penn State. I guess I had interest in going, but they didn't really seem to have interest in me. So it's like, well, I'm going elsewhere. And their offer wasn't consistent with other schools at the time. And so I said no. I remember my dad was pretty excited and awestruck, and my mom was actually the one that was like, no, you know what? They're not giving you the offer you want. And so I was
So did
like,
you tell
"You're
them
right."
no in that meeting or like later on after the fact?
I told him no in that meeting. I looked at my dad and he was like excited, and I looked at my mom and she's looking at me like, you do what you want. So I said no. The deal, my parents and I made a deal in junior high that if I received a good scholarship to college, that I would get a car. So that was kind of the motivating factor for a middle school kid. And so that, yeah, Penn State wasn't meeting that expectation that I had, and other schools were. So I said no. And after the Cadet Worlds, Coach Cael came back to the house and gave me the offer that I was looking for. And I still at the time had planned for other visits at, other schools. And I said I wanted to go and explore those options even still. And he said, if you go there to other schools and you come back to me and you say, I want to go to Penn State, why would I have to give you what you want? And I said, you make a good point. And I shook his hand right there. So it's kind of how that went.
Dang, I can't believe it. In the first visit to the house, they were expecting a yes, no then. Or did you just kind of feel like you just want to be upfront with them?
I just wanted to be upfront. If I just want, for one, I wanted to get what I wanted, and they weren't doing it and they weren't budging. So they were, one thing that did attract me to them. The main thing that attracted me to Penn State wasn't even the winning, the success that they've been having. It was Coach Cael was the first person that had asked me what my goals were. I remember at that meeting, he said, what are your goals? And a lot of other schools were kind of trying to sell me on the amenities of each school and what's the alumni, this or that. And he said, what are your goals? And I said that, and he said, well, at Penn State, we can, find a way to help you get there. It's kind of our job. And I like that answer. So, but yeah, after that meeting, I was not going to Penn State unless they budged. I wasn't budging.
Is this after Ashnault committed to Rutgers, or is this kind of going on at the same time?
This was, Ashnault was, so he was also considering Penn State at the same time as me.
Mm-hmm.
So that was, and they were transparent about it. And so it was like, you know what? I'm going to say at that meeting, I knew that me saying no could result in them picking Ashnault over me. And I was willing to take that risk because I felt, you know what, it's not the right offer right now.
Right.
And if they are right, they'll meet me where I want to be. So, and they did.
And so when Cael asked you what your goals were those something that you had like clearly to find out, or